Hi, hello, and welcome to another video. I am currently in Penang, Malaysia. I'm back home after 5 years of not being here, so I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm going to be traveling around Malaysia and Southeast Asia for the next couple of weeks, and I thought I would take you with me and do a little vlog and show you the art that I make. And I thought I would start by showing you what art materials I brought with me, because I always struggle to choose which ones to bring and what makes the most sense and not to pack too heavy. And I think I made a pretty good selection this time, so I feel pretty happy with it. I brought these two sketchbooks with me. This one you might recognize from one of my last videos, which is a sketchbook tour. It's a daily sketchbook, so I'm trying to draw on it daily. It doesn't always work out, but I'm doing my best, and so far I'm up to date. So if you want to see inside the sketchbook, you can also look at that video, and I'll probably be showing some of the pages that I make while I'm here. So I have this one, and then I have my everyday, my go-to A5 sketchbook, which is from Art Creation by Talons. And I think in the last couple trips that I've been on, I've taken my A4 sketchbook with me, and I almost never use it. So I decided this time to not bring it because it's a long journey, and I also don't feel like carrying it around everywhere. It's super heavy. So this time I left it behind, and I feel good about it. So I managed to limit myself to just 2 pencil cases worth of art supplies. So in the first one, I have a bunch of random pens, pencils, markers, fine liners, sharpeners, erasers, basically just like miscellaneous stuff, as well as I selected specific color pencils to bring with me. I sort of chose a lot of greens and blues, thinking I would make a lot of nature studies, and then I chose like a couple pops of color. These are a mix of Prismacolors and polychromos. And in my second pencil case, I have these cute little 3 neon color tubes. I only had 3 of them so far because I only just started buying them, but I really enjoy them so far, and I think these colors are really cute together, so I have those 3. And then I have a bunch of Tombow markers. I've just started buying these in like December of last year, so I'm working on building my collection, but I'm very excited by these. I think they're really fun to use and also quick and fast, which I think will be good for live drawing. And then I also have this little travel watercolor set. It has like all these little colors and the little palettes that you can flip out, and I really like using this, especially on the go. It's just so much easier, and I didn't have to worry about tubes of paint and choosing which tubes to bring and things. And then with that, I'll use a little like water brush just so that you can fill it and then not be worried about not having access to water if you want to do painting. And then lastly, in this pencil case, I have my Simtap acrylic markers from Artex. They gifted me these just like a week or 2 before I left. I made a video reviewing them. Spoiler alert, I like them a lot. I'm really enjoying them. I put them in this plastic Ziploc because one, I was worried that they would be counted as like a liquid, and then I was also worried that the cabin pressure change would make them like explode a little bit, and then I didn't want to get paint everywhere, so I put them in the Ziploc bag. It didn't explode, and they didn't get taken away, so I'm very happy, and I'm happy I brought them. I also have like a set of 48 of these, so I just chose like 10 to bring with me. I made this little sketchbook spread in my sketchbook and tried to like figure out which colors work well together and which ones I would want to use for like live drawing situations. So yeah, those are all the art supplies that I brought with me, and hopefully I'll be making some cute art with them. And stick around if you want to see the rest of my trip and how it goes. So I went downtown yesterday into Georgetown and I did some live drawing. I managed to complete 2 spreads in my sketchbook, which I'm very happy about. This first spread I did with my acrylic markers, and it was a little bit of a learning curve, but I do think that it turned out pretty cute. I've been trying to remind myself that live drawing doesn't have to be a one-for-one of what I'm looking at, but I can also make it more exciting and more bright and more colorful. So this piece was a good start at that. In this next spread I did when we visited this really beautiful building. I think it's a clan house, and this is the kind of spread that I want to make more of, which is a bit more focusing on composition and piecing together little aspects of the area. So for example, I put the ticket in there, which I think was really cute and added something to the spread. So both of these felt like a good start of my trip and a good start for the art that I'm making, so I'm excited. And we also passed by an art store, of course, and I got a bunch of tombos. They're like a little bit cheaper than they are in Europe, so I decided to do it. And then I got these 2 pens, and these 2 are like my favorite pens. I usually use them in black. They are the Zebra Sarasa Clip in 0.5. I usually use them in black, but I saw that they had really cute pink colors, and I really like using them for writing and for drawing. So I thought that these colors would be really cute for some pop of color in my sketchbook. And then to the main event, I got a keyboard, and I'm very happy with him. He is my baby. We went to this keyboard cafe. It was really, really cool. They had so many different types of keyboards and switches and keycaps. It was just a really good time. And I saw this keyboard with the cats, and I knew I had to do it. And it wasn't so expensive. I think it was about just over 100 euros for the base and the switches and the keycaps. So I heard from my friends that know keyboards that that's a good price. So I listened to them. And here you can hear a sneak peek of how my keyboard sounds. He's really cute. But yeah, that was a good first day of making art, and I'm excited for the rest of my trip. So I took this picture yesterday when we were walking around downtown, and I knew that I wanted to draw it in my sketchbook. I've been trying to focus less on realism and more on capturing a moment or creating a memory of the place. I started the sketch with this Neo Color 2 because I find oil pastels kind of hard to work with and hard to be accurate with, and I didn't want to focus on accuracy for this piece. So this sort of helped me start off at a point where I was like, okay, this doesn't really look exactly like the picture, but that's okay. I'm gonna just be inspired by the picture and then focus on my art making instead. This was a good technique for me. And then next I went in with my Artex acrylic markers and tried to build up some layers with the colors that I have. For this point I was also working very rough. I was working with sort of a limited color palette, so none of the colors were really accurate to the picture. It was looking a little rough in the middle there, but once I put in this dark purple I really felt it come together. And I think the final step of adding these lanterns also really helped with bringing and finishing the piece. I ran out of daylight for the filming, but the last couple things I did was add some marks with my Neo Color 2s on top. And then this is how it turned out, and I think it's really cute. Today we drove 1.5 hours to get to Bukit Merah, which is an orangutan conservation island, and we managed to get just in time for the last boat to the island. It's about a 15-minute boat ride, and we were the only ones on this boat, which means we basically got a private tour, which was really nice. They basically have 16 orangutans on this island at this point, and their goal is to release the orangutans once they're ready back to Borneo. and they have a 100% success rate. So every orangutan that they have released so far has managed to survive and is living happily in Borneo. They check on the orangutans monthly because there's no organization based in Borneo that checks or monitors the adult orangutans, only the youth orangutans. So they take it upon themselves to check in on the orangutans monthly to make sure that everything is going okay with them there. There's this caged route where you can view parts of the island. This was really nice to see because it was really clear that we were the ones in the cage and we were visiting their land, and they are free to roam as they want in their own sections of land. And out of the 16 orangutans, I think we managed to see 10 of them, which is really nice. The majority of the food the orangutans find themselves, and then a small percentage is given to them by the caretakers. This is to allow them to still have the skills to be able to forage for their own food and be able to then transfer that skills when they are returned back to the wild. And we even got to see this baby orangutan inside the training center with his dad and his mom. Overall, it was a really nice experience to learn more about orangutans, and also see them in person is really impressive, and not in like a zoo environment, but in a more friendly environment for the orangutans themselves. And I would highly recommend it. I just got back from Bangkok a couple days ago, and I didn't film a lot because I was spending a lot of time with my family, and we were also celebrating Songkran, which is the New Year in Thailand, which involves a lot of water guns. So obviously I was not able to film because I didn't want my phone to die. But I did have a good time, and now I'm back in Penang for about a week before I head to KL, Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia, and Bali. So lots of plans. So for now I'm going to be doing some resting, catching up on some work, and hanging out with my family. But I did want to show you what I bought in Bangkok, because though I didn't make any art, I did buy some stuff because, of course. First, I bought 2 books from Kinokuniya, which is a really big bookstore there. So first I have this book, which is a new Cassandra Clare book, which I'm very excited to read. And then I bought this book by TJ Klune, which I'm also really excited to read. One of the reviews on the back says, I loved it, like being wrapped up in a big gay blanket. So I'm very excited for that. And then, of course, I bought more art supplies. I bought 3 of these little marker pens, just simple. They're called My Color 2s. And then I have these 2 brush pens. They are the Sakura Pigma brush pens. I've been using these for a long time, but I've only been using them in black. So I thought this one is brown and pink, which I thought could be fun for something new and a different way. And I think a lot of my sketches in my sketchbook feel a bit boring because I'm drawing them in black. So now if I draw them in colors instead, it'll hopefully be a bit more exciting. But let's see. The more exciting part is that I got colored lead. One is multicolored and the other one's pink. So that'll allow me to hopefully sketch with my mechanical pencil in a color instead of in gray like normal lead. And they are also erasable. Most of the things that I'm buying currently are just trying to make my sketchbook a bit more fun and make me more excited to work in my sketchbook, I guess. And then I got a lot of stuff from this brand company art creator called Bring Home the Bacon. This is the bag that it came in and it's already so cute. They had so many cute things. I bought these cute sticky notes. I love bears and this is just adorable, so why not? Do I use sticky notes? No. Will I now use them? Maybe. And then I got these 2 little sticker packs. And again, stickers are not something that I use very often. So I was thinking to decorate my sketchbook with a bunch of these stickers. Usually I don't decorate my sketchbook because I don't like how it looks when there's multiple stickers that are in very different styles. So the benefit of these sticker sheets is that they're all basically one style. So I think it'll look cute. So let's do that. So these are all the spreads that I managed to make while I'm on my holiday. It's maybe not a lot, but it's still more than I expected because I did come here to be with family and we had a lot of plans. So to be able to squeeze in art in between those plans was a little bit tough at times, but I did pretty well. I think I managed to hit a lot of the aims that I had for this trip and for the sketchbook progression, which was exploring a lot of mixed media and also moving away from realism and trying to capture moments. I wanted at least some of the pages to give an overview of what my trip looked like, and I think a lot of these hit the mark on that, so I'm really happy. And I think they will also help me set a bit of a direction of what I want my sketchbook and traditional art to look like. I also still have a lot of reference pictures on my phone and even a lot of clips from this video that are really beautiful and inspiring, and I think this or any holiday can bring so much inspiration and revitalize like my love for art making. As someone who works from home as a freelance illustrator, sometimes just being in your own space for like too long sort of stops me from wanting to make art because there's nothing really new or inspiring ideas or new sights or new experiences. Obviously, it's not very feasible to just go on holiday anytime I am creatively blocked, but this is a good reminder that as someone who also draws nature a lot in their work, that I should just leave the house more often, especially if I'm feeling sort of not really connected to my art making or not really inspired, that it can make such a big difference to just experience the world around me, because that is what I make art about anyway. And though I did really good in this sketchbook, it did mean that I am very behind in my daily scribble sketchbook. I already had the feeling when I started this daily challenge that it sort of took away any time and energy that I had for this A5 sketchbook, which I think is a shame, but it's a good realization for me that I can't really work in both at the same time. So for now, for this trip, I decided to focus on my A5 sketchbook, because working in that sketchbook with a little bit more space and more time to dedicate, and that sketchbook's paper is much better, that I decided to let my scribble sketchbook fall behind. And I'm still here for about 2 more weeks, so hopefully I can catch up in that time. But every day that I'm not catching up means I'm a day further behind, which is a little bit demotivating, but I'm going to try my best. I have a lot of beautiful reference pictures to look back on, so that'll be good at least. Thank you for making it this far, and if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more of my content. And I hope you have a great day.